what's good? It's your boy, Paul Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This is your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit doggone subscribe button, hit notification bell anytime I post a new content. Uh, y'all already know the deal, right? I wake up every morning, wipe my face, brush my teeth, check my emails, see what so-called social media has for me, because I already know they're gonna give me 1 or 10. And so this is just one of 10, right? Y'all know my sayings or who famous people that I like to actually really, take, they can say a quote and it actually really makes sense, right? And this is no different, right? But just because I can, right? I can truly understand, hey, guess what? What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law. So let's see what happens here.
Creator Bonnie Blue was arrested in Bali for, yep, you guessed it, allegedly making explicit adult material, and in Indonesia, that is a serious offense. And if the reporting is correct, she could now be looking at 15 years in jail. We're going to try to make sense of the situation and the potential.
Okay, first and foremost, key word here, if this is actually really taking place, but or it either took place or it feel like it either took place or it didn't take place, right? And for the most part, right, I'll be the first one to say, okay, yeah, this shit took place, but not where the hell y'all think that it took place at, right? Because it's certain, you can't do certain shit in certain countries, right? And and I'm actually really speaking. I'm gonna speak on experience here, right? Because like I say, I served 21 years United States Army, and I did 2 tours or 2 deployments in Saudi Arabia, which for the most part they didn't allow that neither, right? I also did a tour in Bahrain as well as Dubai, and then that's all that the same shit, right? But it was like you couldn't have no pornographic material like that over there, and then it's just for something like, hey, look, they checked our bags, to make sure that we didn't have any type of magazines of that nature. Any magazines, any porno, whether it be on DVD or VHS, which for the most part VHS was well done for, right? So, but the thing about it though is this, they would check your bags, but they didn't actually really didn't go into a real extensive search, right? I mean, because if that was the case, then yeah, I'd went to jail, because I brought my shit with me, because at the time I was on my first marriage or whatever. So for the most part, I tried to be as sane as possible. So this is what the fuck I did, right? Because again, I'm not into young pussy. Never was, right? And then it's just for some fact, everybody, and I'm actually ready to get into the video. So, but for everybody, whether you motherfucking Charleston White, looking like a goddamn Chihuahua dog, right? Corey Holcomb, anybody else, right? For anybody that's gonna sit up here and be like, okay, once you get to the age of 40 or anything past the age of 30, you're done for. You know, I will call bullshit. I will always call bullshit on that, right? Because I look at it like this, right? If you in your 40s, you as a man, if you in your 40s or 50s, and you actually really chasing after shit or after pussy, that for the most part, if you had a daughter, right, that was the same age, you might well go ahead and fuck your daughter, right? And then it's just for you older women. Same thing with y'all, right? If you actually really going out here, actually really trying to chase somebody that is the same age as your son, go ahead and fuck your son. Plain and simple. Y'all some like sick, sorry bastards, right? You know, it's just for the simple fact. How about you actually really stick to somebody your own age? But it's just for the simple fact that both of you motherfuckers, right? Y'all are stupid. Y'all really don't want to confront nobody that is either the same age as you or a couple of years older or a couple of years younger than you, right? Y'all ain't trying to deal with that confrontation. So my question, so the $64,000 question to y'all is this: why? Right? Can't no man on the internet actually really come and tell me any goddamn thing, because ain't none of y'all are true men. Y'all put motherfucker Kevin Samuels up on a goddamn pedestal like this bastard really did something. And I know I just said this plenty of times. This motherfucker a two-time divorcee. And so I put him in the same situation. I put him in the same category as Magic Johnson, just like with that one comedian, Tony Brown, that he rested in power, right? He was actually really talking about when doggone Magic Johnson actually really came out and said that he had the HIV virus. Then he want to be a spokesman. And so he just pretty much said, look, I got to tell you something, folks. Motherfucker, the guy that can't tell me shit. So just like I said, when you a two-time divorcee, motherfucker, you can't tell me a goddamn thing. As far as like relationship goes, you can't tell me a motherfucking thing. Shut the fuck up. That's probably why Yahweh put your ass in the ground in the first place, because you was talking nonsense. But in either case, with this woman here, right? So she goes over to Indonesia. Her and raggedy pussy all, and I'm pretty sure. So here's the deal, people. This right here is a prime example. She's in the ages between 18 to 29, according to the late great comedian Patrice O'Neal, right? So she's in the time frame, right? But this motherfucker that ran through. Pussy worn out already. But this is what the fuck y'all prefer. Y'all make this shit make sense. So let's go ahead and see what happens here.
Consequences with an international law attorney. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime.
So here's this, right? So let's look at this. First and foremost, let's actually really look at it. Now, let's look at this woman right here. You know, I mean, I read the fact, right? Everybody ain't into the big titty and the big booty and all that kind of stuff, which she has none of, by the way. Right? But my thing is this. Okay, how the fuck? Because put like this, we already know that she'd have put this. We already know that she'd have put this shit on the plane. So this was something that had to happen while she was over there, right? And so you mean to tell me that the Indonesian government don't know what the fuck Bang Bus is? Don't worry, I'll wait. Y'all actually really want me to believe this goddamn story here, right? I mean, because for the most part, they already know the motherfuckers that's going to bring it in. So you mean to tell me that the Indonesian government, right, they allow this shit to happen, right? where they painted it. I mean, but look at the damn. I mean, you can't really see all the goddamn detail, but it's enough there where that put like this. Even if you brought this shit over on the plane the first time they saw it, they gonna ask motherfucking questions. Or even if you actually really rented a van here or there, right? And put all that shit on it. So you mean to tell me these motherfuckers ain't gonna investigate? This is nothing more than a publicity stunt, people, right? And it's just like what everybody sitting here hollering about. So she's in, put like this, she's in the time parameter, right? 18 to 29, so she's 26. But she is an adult film star. So you know that pussy worn out. But this is what the fuck y'all want. Y'all like that young pussy. Or y'all will sit up here and holler, oh, she been ran through. Right? 9 times out of 10, you don't know shit about the motherfucking 40-year-old or any put like this from 35 going forward. Do y'all actually really know anything about these women? I mean, I read the fact and put like this: if they can't catch, they can't catch. But see, this is what happens. I follow no man. I never did. But for you motherfuckers that's acting like here, following a dead man, right? Where y'all women at? And even more so, how old are they? Right? Because I'm gonna tell you, if they're anywhere between her time age, guess what? Like what I told you, go ahead, go on and fuck your daughter. Go on and fuck your daughter, right? Because 9 times out of 10, that's what the fuck you want to do in the first place. Same thing with you women. You want the younger men, right? Go on and fuck your son, right? Y'all want to sit up here and y'all want to talk a good game. But just know a lot of you motherfuckers don't even know how to spell game. Let alone any goddamn thing else. Right? And I already know this shit ain't gonna go too far, but it's just for the simple fact, if it do get far, I challenge any of the motherfuckers. Whether I come on your podcast or you come here or you come see me. Let me go ahead and fuck you up right fast. Plain and simple. I will shut you down like it's nobody's business. Right? Because you motherfuckers don't know. It's just for the simple fact, because I have to agree. So I have to agree with some women on this, where that the man, the so-called grown man, right? Some of y'all don't know no motherfucking better. And for the most part, some of y'all are damn near. Put like this, to be perfectly honest, some of y'all could be classified as damn near pedophile. That's just how I look at it. Why the fuck you want somebody that really ain't truly motherfucking developed yet as a woman? So what's the saying? Long as the pussy bleeds, hey, it's all fun and games, right? That's how y'all look at it, right? Okay, got it. Fuck games as usual. Let's continue.
Jesse Weber.
Honestly, I really don't even go
Bali for allegedly making
arrested
by authorities as part of
and then it's just for the simple fact, right? They really don't know if she actually really did the shit or not. But at the same time, though, I just look at it like this, right? Anytime when you carry yourself, anytime when you get your ass on the plane and you carry your ass across that water, depending on where the fuck you going. If you don't know the bylaws, the laws, if you don't know any of that shit that's actually really going on, right? Then you might want to actually really find out before you carry your ass over there. It's just like what I told y'all, right? 21 years, United States Army. So they're like, say, I was in Saudi. So I was, for let's just say from hell, because I went to the very first time I went to Saudi, it was in 1988. 1998, right? And we knew about that shit then, right? Then 2000, what happens? We go back over that. I still know about it, right? And so, just like I say, people, I half of my career I did overseas, so I knew what the standards were. We all did, right? But put like this: when you have DVDs, right, and you put them in something like this, yeah, I know it's a potato chip bag, but come on now, before motherfuckers actually really started downloading music, right? You put all you put all your music CDs, your music CDs, your movie CDs, regardless of nature. This is what the fuck you did, and then you have to actually really just pray that they actually really don't look through your shit, and then, but like I say, if you knew how to hide it, then you had no problem. Look, you can't listen, people. Where's that? Where's that? You can't have, you put like this, you can't hide a big ass bus, right? Knowing this is what the fuck you do. So it's just for some fact. Okay, so you mean to tell me that the Indonesian government don't know what the fuck a bang bus is? That's what this is what the fuck you tell me. Is this what the fuck y'all trying to tell me? Because if this is what the fuck y'all trying to tell me, choke yourself. Choke yourself right off. And then for anybody else that acts like, put like this, if y'all like that young pussy like that, then hey, go ahead. Go ahead. Do you, motherfuckers, right? Sorry ass sacks of shit, you know? Now, like I say, all you motherfuckers need to be hung up by all y'all motherfuckers need to be strung up by your goddamn balls, right? Go out and get somebody your damn age. Or is it for the simple fact that women that are the same age bracket as y'all don't want to deal with y'all? Is that what it is? Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, next Tuesday, motherfuckers, right? So,
raid on her studio. Now, while it's being reported that 14 young men were released, Blue was apparently kept in custody, as well as 2 other British men and 1 other Australian guy.
I mean,
but it was
to
also
be perfectly honest, like, I mean, let's actually really just stop and pay attention to what the fuck it is that they actually really trying to talk about here, right? They already told you. They not even too goddamn sure about what the fuck is going on. So what the fuck are we actually really doing here, people? What are we doing? What are we doing and why are we doing it? This is what the fuck I always tell my nieces and nephews, right? What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Why are we doing it? This shit here, yeah, just to see what the fuck is going on, right? You know, so y'all can take that shit. Y'all can take it for however the fuck y'all actually really want to see it. So that's all what the fuck I'm gonna say on that piece. So where this other bitch at? Where this other bitch at? Okay, we already talked about her. And then this shit here, right? I mean, you motherfuckers, right? I don't know. Y'all look like some sorry ass action shit. So hold on. I had it. I probably went too far. Probably went too far, right? Oh well, you know, I already talked about motherfucking the bullshit. Oh yeah, this bitch.
Reporters lined the aisles. Local residents
and
school.
Do this, right?
How to solve a math
So
problem.
basically, yeah.
Thin.
So,
Covering any
okay,
classroom that
first and
needed a
foremost,
body.
hold on, let's do this. Let's go back and start it up, right? Well, but then again,
In the quiet town of Wellston,
yeah,
Oklahoma, substitute
the
teacher
fact, I mean, look at her last name, people. Hancock, or cock in hand. And then who the fuck at this day and time still names their child Emma? That's old woman shit right there. Right there. Who the fuck names their child at this day and time?
Emma Delaney Hancock, daughter of the mayor and wife of the police chief,
Okay, so
was seen as the embodiment.
Again, there it is right there. You the wife of the chief of police. Your daddy the damn mayor. So you, for the most part, you actually really thought that you could get away with murder. Right? But I'm looking at the name. I'm looking at his last name, Hancock. Or cock in hand. So you had the little boy's cock in your hand. And then you know how you white women are. Ooh, let me hold on to your big fat cock. Let me suck your cock. That's what the fuck. That's what the fuck. That's how y'all sound. At least some of y'all. Anyway. So let's go.
Embodiment of trust. But in October 2022, that image shattered when she began doing something with a 15-year-old student through Snapchat.
Okay,
and
15, right? So now, depending on how old she is, right? I think she's probably like around about the same age as old Bonnie Blue, right? Pussy that ran through. Pussy, I'm pretty sure Pussy been run through, right? Because this is like what this is what the fuck. You see, this would proves my point. Everybody sitting up here talking about they love young pussy. There's no young pussy gonna get run through, right? When you're in your 40s, put like this, anything from 35 on, right? Depending on if you're still running them damn streets, right? You can actually really like do like a motherfucking where like you look at you can assess yourself, look at the wear and tear on your body, right? You can actually it's shit out there where you can actually really tighten up the pussy, right? Whether you do the exercise or where you actually really go put some vinegar in the water, tighten that motherfucker up, you it's shit out there that you can actually really retread the tire, if you will, right? But ain't no 20, ain't put like this, ain't no 8, put like this, ain't no 25, ain't no 20-year-old, ain't no 25-year-old gonna do no shit like that. They don't know no better. They too busy trying to fuck, right? Just know everybody at one point in time, right? Everybody's out in the motherfucking streets. You put like this, ain't nothing wrong with trying on shoes. Plain and simple. Right? This is something that actually goes on in every goddamn generation. People can change, right? Now, if you got kids, if you got a gang of kids, right, then yeah, take that shit somewhere else. If you're a little overweight, again, depending on who the hell it is, depending on where you at and how you look, put like this, overweight women, you get picked up. But the thing about it though is this, fellas, again, you're like saying, this is how I know that y'all not your own man. Because y'all let Kevin Samuels fuck y'all up. I'm just gonna put it out there. Y'all sit up there and watch the videos and y'all just thought that this motherfucker was preaching the truth. Right? But the first video that I just proved, that I just showed y'all, just goes to show, right? 18 to 29, right? Pussy get ran through. Pussy is gonna get run through regardless of age. So you motherfuckers actually really gonna have to actually really just stop and think for a minute. Do I want the 18 to 26-year-old, depending on the 18 to 29-year-old, depending on your age, or do I go from the 30 to 50-year-old, depending on age, right? And depending on their motherfucking track record, right? All pussy is gonna get ran through. Plain and simple. So stop trying to categorize, stop trying to put pussy in a goddamn age bracket when all of the shit gets run through. See, that's y'all motherfucking problems now, right? And then if anybody that went on that motherfucking show telling their business, choke yourself, right? Same thing with Kendra G, right? Sure nothing. Why this is how you motherfuckers, this is how these motherfuckers make their money, right? And you already know this motherfucker wore glasses, so he couldn't see worth a damn, right? But this is who the fuck y'all follow.
Arranging hidden encounters on school grounds. A friend's report triggered an OSBI investigation that uncovered explicit messages, photos, and videos Emma thought were deleted. Arrested in 2023, she was eventually convicted and sentenced to over 6 years in prison. The scandal rocked Wellston, leaving a community stunned and a young boy fighting to reclaim his childhood. Number 1.
Okay.
This is the
criminal. Look at this. Oh, hold on. Let's go back. Let's go back. Now, unless this bitch
Women's
dyed
TV.
her hair,
In the quiet young boy fighting to reclaim.
Unless that bitch dyed her hair, or that's black and white. Them two different people. All right. But again, right? It still doesn't erase the fact. Okay, this woman, she in her 20s, and she getting ran through by a 15-year-old. Pussy gone. Because ain't no telling how many times she done did this. Right? Wore out pussy is wore out pussy, people. Or gentlemen. Right? Shut the fuck up and come. Or do y'all even know how to do that?
His childhood. Number 1. This is the Criminal Women's TV. In the quiet Oklahoma town of Wellston, population just under 700, the world still moves at the gentle pace of a place where everyone knows everyone else's name. Children ride their bikes down unpaved roads. Longtime residents greet each other at the gas station with nods that pass for full conversations. The local school district, modest in size and even more modest in resources, depends on familiar faces. The regular teachers, the rotating sub. Her father, the mayor, was
so again, everybody has heard of the preacher's daughter. Well, matter of fact, the preacher's wife, right? Motherfucker trying to spread the good word, but then again, you in a church. So I for the most part, I question what the fuck did you do on a daily basis, or at least on every motherfucking Sunday. And so when you have a daughter, they're like, oh, look at the preacher's daughter. Look at the preacher's daughter, right? Knowing that the preacher's daughter probably like the freakiest bitch out there, along with the wife. So here we go. We got the mayor's daughter. And it just so happened that she married the motherfucking chief of police. Y'all don't find that strange? I mean, what are the odds of that actually really, truly, honestly happening, people? Don't worry, I'll wait. Right? Y'all need to know a bullshit story when y'all see a bullshit story, but let's go.
Considered one of the stabilizing voices of local life. Her husband, the police chief, patrolled the same roads he'd grown up on.
Now, let's actually really just stop and think about this for a minute, right? All women have inherited a terrible disease. Some of y'all can control that shit rather well. And then some of y'all can't. What did Eve do in the garden? Right? After she was told not to do it, what the fuck she did? She did it in a goddamn way. And that shit then passed down from generation to generation to generation. And again, this is something that I don't hear nobody else motherfucking talking about. Y'all can talk about women all goddamn day long, right? But you never talk about the fucking origin of how this shit started. You never do. And goddamn it, I just told you. Now, unless a lot of y'all actually really don't believe what King James said in the Bible, okay, I give you that. But in either case, everything has a point of origin. Somebody was the first to fuck over the goddamn man. whether it was Eve, whether it was Lilith, or whatever the fuck her name, somebody did that shit first. And it passed down. I don't hear none of y'all talking about that. Y'all talking about modern women this, modern women that. These motherfuckers are not modern women. The cave woman had enough sense about herself to cover herself off. These motherfuckers don't. And so I'm just like, the younger the person, the younger the meat, I guess. But just know, what the fuck a 15-year-old gonna do, right? Because she's in Oklahoma, so she either put it like this. She either fuck little Johnny or little Timmy. There's no, she didn't go in the hood with that shit, right? She didn't fuck Larry. She didn't fuck Raheem. She didn't fuck Curtis, right? She didn't fuck nobody in the hood at 15, right? Because just know that bitch was really gonna get her back blown. All right, so hey, let's continue.
Their family name was woven into the threads of community identity, evoking safety, leadership, and continuity. And then, in a sequence of events that would soon be felt like shockwaves across Oklahoma, that legacy shattered. By the time the public learned the full truth, by the time local and national media had descended, by the time courtroom doors closed behind her, it seemed impossible to reconcile the smiling woman who volunteered at school bake sales with the person investigators described. A substitute teacher who crossed one of society's most inviolable boundaries. This is the story of how a single October afternoon, a phone number exchanged under the pretense of homework, and a cascade of...
Okay, so again, this is like the prelude or the preview of what the fuck is actually really about to happen, right? First and foremost, why you as a teacher, whether you're an actual like full-time teacher or even a substitute teacher, why are you giving your number to a motherfucking 15-year-old, right? You know, I get it. You know, sometimes that math can actually really be hard, you know, but then again, right, you know, that's something that the teacher this is something that the teacher don't do. You don't give your number out to no motherfucking 15-year-old, right? But then again, just like it's that, you know, we talk about we either talk about little Timmy or little Johnny, right? Or let's just say Timmy and Johnny, right? Or Timmy or Johnny, right? What did the boy do? What did the 15-year-old boy do? Right? In order for this motherfucking transaction to even take place. Let's continue.
Increasingly reckless decisions unraveled a family, stunned a community, and left a young boy struggling to reclaim his childhood. On October 6th, 2022.
You know, see, here's the deal, right? I mean, let's okay, again, so let's actually really stop and think about this for a minute. What 15-year-old boy, right, is really trying to reclaim his life after he done got fucked by somebody anywhere from 9 to 10 years older than he is, right? But then again, I actually really go back to the movie Weird Science, right? Anthony Michael Hall, right? Kelly LeBrock, right? I forget the other young boy's name, right? But here's the deal. They put it like this. When you're 15, or put it like this, right? Let's just say that probably depending on who the fuck you are, right? At 15, right? Hormones all over the motherfucking place, right? Me personally, right? I started growing hair on my Jimmy, right? When I was 9 years old. I could have been 8, right? And so it's just for the simple fact that even at an early age, even at an early age, right? You start actually really feeling the tendencies. The shit starts there, and then during this same time frame, the movie Weird Science came out. So let's not get this shit twisted. 15-year-old boys, right? Although it may be like two pumps in the quiver, right? Just know they know what a pussy is. They know what actually really makes their dick hard and all that kind of shit. So let's not actually really just sit up here and think that the 15-year-old is nothing more than a motherfucking victim. I call bullshit, right? Because like I say, when I was 15, which was many years ago, yeah, I was horny for a younger for an older woman, right? Let's not get this shit twisted, people.
The school day in Wellston started like any other. Students trailed into classrooms, still battling the morning chill. Teachers sipped coffee from travel mugs as they prepared for lessons. No one paid much mind to the fact that one of the high school's regular math teachers was out sick again, nor that the school district had assigned.
Again, just like I say, I have to call bullshit on this one, just like on the previous one, right? How you not gonna know that your teacher is out? You know who your teacher is throughout the motherfucking school year. You know who the fuck your teacher is, right? So again, I'm speaking from experience. I knew who all my motherfucking teachers were. And then it's just for the simple fact, but beforehand, they actually really told us, hey, guess what? I'm gonna be out for a couple of days. I got this. So a substitute is coming in. Y'all listen to him or her as if you would listen to me. This was the criteria. So how the fuck they not gonna know?
28-year-old Emma Hancock
to
fill in for the day.
So she's 28 years old, right? So he 15. Now, that's anywhere from a 12 to 13-year difference, depending on birthdays. Right? So again, let's continue.
Substitute teachers in Wellston were often stretched thin, covering any classroom that needed a body. Emma had worked in many of them. Science labs, history rooms, even physical education classes.
Oh, so guess what? So she had her pick of the litter. So let's just say, let's just speculate for a minute, shall we? Right? Say that the boy in question was in physical education class, right? So she got a chance to really see him for who he truly was, how he may or may not operate, right? So, but then again, right, if she's 28 years old, right? So for the most part, again, we going back to what Patrice O'Neal said, what everybody else said, right? Anywhere from 18 to 29. Okay, so she's 28. So she in her last year of eligibility. Let you motherfuckers tell it. Right? So the hubby, for whatever reason, he the goddamn chief of police. So he probably ain't gonna be as home as he should be. Right? So she hornier than a motherfucker. Right? And then we can talk about dick size. But I'm just putting it out there, right? You horny, whatever. Your hubby ain't home, right? He the goddamn chief of police. So 9 times out of 10, he always on motherfucking call. And this is where I thought his motherfucking ass at, right? You the goddamn chief of police. My wife wants some dick. Guess what? They call me all goddamn day long. Hell of that shit, I'll be there shortly. Right? And right? Face down, ass up. That's how I like to fuck, right? There's no. Take care of your wife, homeboy. You didn't do that. It's quite obvious you didn't do it. So she went out and got a 15-year-old because you weren't doing your job. Let's continue.
Her presence was unremarkable. She was familiar, polite, and generally well-liked by the kids. According to later court documents, it was during one of her rotations through the school that she first interacted with the 15-year-old boy who would become the center of a criminal case. The exact nature of their first conversations remains somewhat blurred in official records, just that they spoke briefly that day, likely in passing, likely about something forgettable.
Okay, so typical shit, typical setup, right? Just like you would actually really do if it was grown up on grown up or teenager, right? Right off, you make your presence known. Hey, I'm this. Hey, how you doing? I'm so and so, so and so, so and so, right? But then again, when you're a substitute teacher, right? You already know because what the fuck they do? Hey, when I call your name, raise your hand. And that's in every motherfucking class. So what the fuck are we actually really talking about here, right? And I'm just gonna put it out here, right? Because I was talking to one of my friends earlier about this. Where the fuck was these teachers at when I was in school? Because it's just for the simple fact, right? Out of all the years that I was in school, right? It might have been 2, right? That okay, she could have got it. The very first one was my kindergarten teacher. So I was 5 years old. So what the fuck I'm gonna do with a little dick? I'm 5. But I had that mentality about myself, right? And then later on, right, it was other teachers out there, but then, when you have a fixed idea in your head, then a lot of shit that you're actually really not gonna pursue on because of the lies that have been actually really told you through the Board of Education. So hey, it is what it is. Some of my teachers, regardless of grade level, a lot of them motherfuckers, I swear right to this day, some of them played dual roles. They was the motherfucking, they was like the 5th grade teacher, and then at the same time, they was the motherfucking cafeteria woman too.
A worksheet, a missing assignment, a question about how to solve a math problem. But at some point, seemingly with the casualness of...
So let me guess, right? It's been a while since I've been in school, but I'm just like, okay, well, motherfucker, you don't know what 2 + 2 is? You don't know what 2 × 2 is, right? Or you don't know how to do fractions. You don't know how to put like this. You don't know how to divide and motherfucking multiply. You don't know how to do that. Okay, got it.
Someone asking for clarification on homework, Emma gave the boy her phone number.
See, right there.
The action it's...
So remember, she was a motherfucking substitute teacher on goddamn every level, right? So 9 times out of 10, she probably called him while he was in PE class, right? Looking at him, right? And again, her husband, chief of police, he ain't digging it down because he's the chief of police, right? But just know that if point is this is no different than when I was goddamn platoon sergeant, right? And I'm talking about like my first wife here, right? And put like this. I mean, sometimes, I'll be the first one to tell you the marriage wasn't always peaches and cream. It was more like rock and roll, right? But every once in a while, we'll hit like a smooth spot, right? And then she was like, hey, look, go on and tie me up right fast. And then I'll be like, well, I gotta go to work. She was like, you platoon sergeant, ain't you? And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I went in, tightened up, right? And then, hey, look, be good. And if I can come home for lunch, I'll tighten your ass up again. But just know, I was gonna be on my way to the gym, right? See, this is what the fuck he should have did. It is quite obvious that he didn't.
Itself was improper, but not, in isolation, criminal. Teachers sometimes gave out contact information for academic help. In small towns, boundaries blur.
Academic help, right? What the fuck? Listen. What the fuck I just showed y'all, right? This is math, right? So she showed that motherfucker how to divide, spread them legs, and motherfucking multiply. Come on now, let's not get this shit twisted, people.
People place trust where perhaps they shouldn't. Yet, what unfolded that evening revealed something far more serious than a homework discussion. Investigators later discovered that Emma sent a friend request to the teen on Snapchat the very same night. For a 28-year-old married mother and a 15-year-old student, there was no innocent explanation for that. Not when the app was known for disappearing messages, fleeting images, and the illusion of secrecy. The relationship, if one can call it that, shifted quickly into territory far beyond the bounds of teacher-student dynamics.
Okay, hold on. First and foremost, right? If it's nothing more than being a fuck buddy, ain't no goddamn relationship, right? 9 times out of 10, this motherfucker was probably drinking coffee. And then his parents were looking at him like, why the fuck you drinking coffee? At 15, right? But then again, you know, he could be like, oh, he's probably like this. He was either drinking Monsters or motherfucking Red Bull, right? Gotta keep the goddamn stamina up. He fucking with a 28-year-old, which is in the time frame. She's still in the time frame, people. Still in the time frame. She got 1 more year, right? But this is what the fuck we be talking about right here, right? And then watch out to oh, well, he 15. It don't fucking matter, right? She done got ran through. Ran through by a 15-year-old, right? But this is what the fuck y'all want.
It entered the realm of manipulation, risk, and clandestine exchanges.
Put like this. Put like this. For the most part, right? If indeed you want to actually really call this manipulation, right? Again, when you're 15, you're horny as fuck, right? And it's just for the simple fact, right? When you're 15, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that booty and titties don't matter, right? It may matter to a certain extent, but you're horny. You know what makes your dick hard. So guess what? If a motherfucker actually really show you some shit, show you some interest, guess what the fuck you gonna do? And just for the simple fact, that same shit still happens today. Anytime a motherfucker actually really show you any type of interest, depending on the type of individual that you are, right? It's gonna make your dick hard, right? And then you actually really gonna try to pursue that shit more than what the fuck you should.
Within days, messages grew more personal, more intimate. The boy, unsure of where the line existed or what to make of this.
Okay, again, first and foremost, they tried to make the boy out until they try to make him be innocent. No, when you're 15, you're not innocent. I'm just sitting up here telling you, I got a little nephew right to this day, right? Oh my goodness. He acts like, and and right to this day, right? He like 8 or 9 right now? I mean, but this was like a few years back. I think he probably was no more than 6, maybe 7. But he acts like he actually really told one of his teachers, one of his female teachers, right? He said, Miss So-and-so, guess what? You make my pee-pee happy. I mean, so even at 6 or 7, this shit is there, okay? This motherfucker 15, right? And then I'm pretty sure if my little nephew felt like this, if he thought that he could, he probably would have fucked, right? But, again, what the fuck are you going to do at 6 or 7? right? So, and then so here it is. This motherfucker, he 15. Like he really don't know what the fuck going on. Come on now, let's go.
Sudden attention from an adult woman in a position of power sent her a shirtless selfie.
So
Emma responded not with.
Now here's the deal, right? This is so now it's becoming more and more evident. She had to see him in PE class. Because why the fuck else would he take his shirt off? She done seen him already. She done already scoped this motherfucker out. But y'all want to sit up here and say he don't know what the fuck is going on?
With concern, not with redirection, not with the protective instincts that someone entrusted with children should have, but with explicit photos and videos of herself. This was no accident, no misunderstanding, no miscommunication. And crucially, she acknowledged the wrongdoing in writing. In one exchange later retrieved from her device, she made a remark that prosecutors would seize on as proof beyond any reasonable doubt that she understood the gravity.
Okay, then, so again, right? So you already knew what the fuck was going to happen with this. You already knew. But you did it anyway, right? You did it anyway. Right? All because of the chief of police, which was your goddamn husband. Didn't put your motherfucking hand, didn't put you in motherfucking handcuffs and fuck the shit out of you. So it's quite obvious he has no motherfucking creativity about himself. Which is fucked up on his part, right? This woman here, she was looking for something young and fresh. And she just happened to find it in a 15-year-old. Now, I'm not saying it is the right thing to do, right? But the thing about it is this. What the fuck did I tell y'all? What disease did I tell y'all that every woman have? It's just for the simple fact that some of y'all can control that shit. A lot of y'all is like, hey, the fuck with it. Long as I get a dick. Long as I get dick down, it don't fucking matter. And that's all what the fuck happened here. She knew it, but she didn't care. Then it's like, Adam say, hey, look, you can eat all this shit here. That tree right there, don't you fuck with. And what the fuck she did? She went to the one tree that you weren't supposed to fuck with. Let's continue.
Gravity of her actions. That was the moment that showed she wasn't confused. She wasn't coerced. She wasn't unaware. She knew, and she kept going.
Yep.
For most predators, secrecy is essential. Boundaries blur in private, but in public they re-solidify out of necessity. But in this case, secrecy coexisted with.
But and I'm sorry, but at this point in the junction, who the fuck told? Who told?
Extraordinary recklessness. As the investigation would later show, Emma's online communications with the teen were not enough for her. When she returned to the school as a substitute in the days that followed, she arranged in-person encounters with him. These weren't pre-planned by administration or casual interactions between classes. They were deliberate meetings in secluded areas of the school, spaces meant for storage, not intimacy, a pantry, a supply closet, and a narrow room off the cafeteria used by staff.
Supply closet, right? I'm like, damn, really? So, apparently, that little 15-year-old dick was like, motherfucking was working wonders for your ass, right? And I mean, I'm just, it is what it is. I don't know. Maybe little Timmy, maybe little Johnny. I don't know. Maybe he was packing. Maybe he was packing at 15, right? Packing more than her motherfucking hood.
During one of these encounters, they kissed. In another, she touched him inappropriately. She also allowed him to use her vape pen, something minors weren't legally permitted.
Oh, so she got him high, right? So she knew. So this bitch knew what she was doing. Okay, let's go.
To possess, let alone inside a school building. What's most unsettling is how brazen the behavior was. These meetings took place during school hours, Anyone could have walked in. Anyone could have opened the door. Her husband was the police.
Okay, so first and foremost, right? You know, if you're in a supply closet, I mean, okay, I get it. So the supply closet is very, very suspect, right? Because the janitor can go in there, but so you could take this shit in the bathroom, right? You know, again, you know, I'm not actually really trying to implement anything, right? But you know, I'm just saying, put it like this: if the dick was that good, right, then you know, don't get your ass in no motherfucking supply closet, right? You know, I get it. You trying to be discreet about it, but hey, you know, look, she could have just said, "Hey, look, you got after school detention." That's all the fuck I'm gonna say on that.
Police chief.
But I mean, look, let's look, right? You know, and again, you know, this is what happens when you bite the motherfucking apple or the fruit or whatever. Let's continue.
Her father was the mayor.
Again, so she felt like that she couldn't be touched. And you know, I'm pretty sure she went to jail. I'm pretty sure she went to jail.
Surrounded by her own community, by colleagues who trusted her.
News media,
Yet she acted as though she were untouchable. Maybe she believed she was. Maybe she thought no one would suspect the mayor's daughter, the police chief's wife, the mother who dropped her own children off at the elementary school every morning. But kids talk. Teens confide in their friends. And that is how the facade finally cracked. One day, the teen told a friend about what was happening. That friend confronted Emma. At first, she denied everything.
Damn, dog. Okay. I mean, all right. I get it. You knew it was wrong. You knew it was wrong, right? So 9 times out of 10, this is what the fuck happened, right? But he took his shirt off. He initiated it in a sense, right? Thinking that he was ready to take on a 28-year-old woman. So if they did, so they fucked. He saw it. He saw it for what it really was. And so just by pure excitement, right? He probably did what old boy did in American Pie, right? Got 2 pops in the quiver. Put like this, he probably did good if he got the head in and he nutted everywhere. Again, just put the shit out there. Let's continue.
Then she allegedly told him that nothing would come of it, that there would be no consequences because they weren't going to get caught. She underestimated the resilience of truth. In November 2022, the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office launched an official investigation. Small-town law enforcement often works off instinct, and something about the whispers moving through the school corridors struck deputies as too serious to ignore. Soon after, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, OSBI, joined the case. The digital trail Emma believed Snapchat had erased was not lost. With search warrants in hand, investigators combed through her phone. They extracted data, accessed cloud backups, reconstructed deleted images.
Okay, so you know, needless to say, we already know what the fuck didn't happen. So, hey, so let me do this one last one here, right? And I think this bitch, she fucked a goddamn
arrest, media frenzy,
she
guilty plea,
fucked a
and sentencing devastating.
Especially,
can we keep this between us?
I guess
I just feel weird talking when other people might see.
But again, you know, regardless of what the fuck going on, right?
Not scared of you, just scared of attention.
Again,
People watch everything and ruin stuff when they don't understand.
is it
I
like
get
this?
that.
Okay, ladies.
I don't want people
so
looking at
again,
us
right?
different.
You know, this is the same shit. Younger teacher, older teacher, grown teacher, right? Younger student, right? Y'all trying to break motherfuckers in like that? Really? This is what the fuck we do. And then again, I was like, okay, where the fuck was y'all at when I was going through high school, right? You know, but then again, 9 times out of 10, you know, as shy as I was back then, right? You know,
9 times out of 10, I probably would have did the exact same thing. I mean, 2 pumps of the quiver, and I've been out of there. And chances are, I probably would have told, but that's what happens, sometimes pressure is a motherfucker, right? But then knowing the type of woman that my mom was, she just looked at me and said, boy, who you fucking? And why? Right? And then I'd had to come out of it, right? And then 9 times out of 10, she would have went up there and beat that teacher's ass, right? That teacher would have had a well-whipped ass, right? She'd have got fired and went to jail. 9 times out of 10, my mama probably would have went to jail too, right? But I'm just telling you, this is what the fuck, this is what women did. This is what mothers did back in the day, right? And that shit what motherfucking Cheyenne Bryant was talking about. Talking about you got mama issues. No, my mama protected me at all costs. And just know, I'm going to be talking about your bitch ass more in detail now that I can actually really go out here and do shit like how I really need to do it. Right? Because again, everybody going to break shit down. Everybody going to break shit down. But you're not going to be able to break it down like the crazy uncle. Because it's shit like this, right? I'm old CSI Miami, CSI New York, CSI Los Angeles, CSI what the fuck ever. Right? I see shit for what it is. I call bullshit on it 9 times out of 10. Out of all of the stories that I told y'all, 9 times out of 10, a lot of this shit is bullshit. These motherfuckers is actually really trying to catch headlines because let's just actually really stop and think about this for a minute. What grown-ass woman won't do with a motherfucking 15-year-old? Whether they from the hood or not. What the fuck? What are we doing? What are they doing? Why are we doing? All this shit is bullshit. These motherfuckers is actually really trying to catch views for the goddamn channel because they already know the motherfuckers gonna look. But the thing about though is this. Teachers fucking students is about as old as the day is long. So it's just like when you actually really stop and look at it, when you actually really stop and look at it for what it truly is, right? For you grown ass men, right? Y'all need to do more of a ground and pound of what the fuck you do, right? And then it's just for the simple fact, whatever the fuck that you can't make up with your dick, right? Just know you got these hands and a motherfucking tongue. I suggest you start using them shits and do a combo, right? Finger the pussy, eat the pussy, finger the asshole with this finger here. No, I'm not flicking y'all off, but y'all see how long that motherfucker is, right? So take that finger, right? Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do to keep your wife at the house. So let's review, right? You finger the pussy, eat the pussy. Finger the ass, eat the ass, right? And then take her ass outside. Let her enjoy the great outdoors, right? And then just know when you the motherfucking chief of police, you got every goddamn excuse in the world to show up and work late. You ain't got to give nobody no motherfucking explanation. Hey, goddamn it, I'm the chief of police. Y'all know how this shit go, or you know how it go. And then if you don't know how it go, guess what? One or two things finna happen to you. You either finna get fired or you gonna get transferred. Take your pick. So, with that being said, guess what the fuck y'all get to do? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your dad, tell your birthday, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, cross street, round the corner. Papa's Harris, a.k.a. Crazy Uncle.
Holla at y'all.